Hello, I'll continue reading Anne Frank, The Diary of a Young Girl. During my last two reads, um, essentially, uh, I've read about three or four diary entries, and Anne uh, was still blathering as a 13-year-old girl. But however, in one of the diary entry, she was already talking about the atrocity Hitler and Nazi Party were committing in 1940, I think. There was a word called pogrom. I misread it as program. Later on, I checked. Only I realized pogrom actually means massacre, genocide. So there was already a pogrom on Jews being carried out in 1938. Other than that, there was a diary entry regarding Anne playing ping pong, eating ice cream, and of course the last one I've read was regarding Anne non-stop driveling during mathematics class, and her teacher punished her by asking her to write essay three times. First one is a chatterbox. Second one is incorrigible chatterbox, and last one was a funny title, a long title. I'll continue reading. It was time to come up with something else, something original. My friend San, who's good at poetry, offered to help me write the essay from beginning to end in verse. I jumped for joy. Kissing was trying to play a joke on me with this ridiculous subject, but I'll make sure the joke was on him. I finished my poem and it was beautiful. It was about a mother duck and a father swan with three baby ducklings who were beaten to death by the father because they quacked too much. Luckily, Kissing took the joke right away. He read a poem to the class, adding his own comments, and to several other classes as well. Since then, I've been allowed to talk and haven't been assigned any extra homework. On the contrary, Kissing has always I making jokes these days. Yours end. Wednesday, 24th of June 1942. Dearest Kitty, it's sweltering. Everyone is huffing and puffing, and in this heat, I have to walk everywhere. Only now do I realize how pleasant a streetcar is, but we Jews are no longer allowed to make use of this luxury. Our own 2 feet are good enough for us. Yesterday at lunchtime, I had an appointment with the dentist on Jan Lukenstraat. It's a long way from our school on steamer Twinen. That afternoon, I nearly fell asleep at my desk. Fortunately, people automatically offer you something to drink. The dental assistant is really kind. The only mode of transportation left to us is the ferry. The ferryman at Joseph Israel Cade took us across when we asked him to. It's not the fault of the Dutch that we Jews are having such a bad time. I wish I didn't have to go to school. My bike was stolen during Easter vacation, and father gave mother's bike to some Christian friends for safekeeping. Thank goodness, summer vacation is almost here. One more week and our torment will be over. Something unexpected happened yesterday morning. As I was passing the bicycle racks, I heard my name being called. I turned around and there was the nice boy I've met the evening before at my friend Wilma's. He's Wilma's second cousin. I used to think Wilma was nice, which she is, but all she ever talks about is boys, and that gets to be a bore. He came toward me somewhat shyly and introduced himself as Halo Silverberg. I was a little surprised and wasn't sure what he wanted, but it didn't take me long to find out. He asked if I would allow him to accompany me to school. As long as you are headed that way, I'll go with you, I said. And so we walked together. Hello is 16 and good at telling all kinds of funny stories. He was waiting for me again this morning, and I expect he will be from now on. And Wednesday, 1st of July, 1942. Dearest Kitty, until today I honestly couldn't find the time to write you. I was with friends all day Thursday. We had company on Friday, and that's how it went until today. Halo and I have gotten to know each other very well this past week, and he has told me a lot about his life. He comes from Gelsenkirchen and is living with his grandparents. His parents are in Belgium, but there's no way he can get there. Halo used to have a girlfriend named Ursula. I know her too. She's perfectly sweet and perfectly boring. Ever since he met me, Halo has realized that he has been falling asleep at Ursula's side, so I'm kind of a pep tonic. You never know what you're good for. Jacque spent Saturday night here. Sunday afternoon she was at Hanelli's and I was bored stiff. Halo was supposed to come over that evening, but he called around 6. I answered the phone and he said, "This is Helmut Silberberg. May I please speak to Anne?" "Oh, Halo, this is Anne." "Oh, hi, Anne. How are you?" "Fine, thanks. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, but I can't come tonight, though I would like to have a word with you. Is it alright if I come by and pick you up in about 10 minutes? Yes, that's fine. Bye-bye. Okay, I'll be right over. Bye-bye. I hung up, quickly changed my clothes, and fixed my hair. I was so nervous I leaned out the window to watch for him. He finally showed up. Miracle of miracles. I didn't rush down the stairs, but waited quietly until he rang the bell. I went down to open the door, and he got right to the point. "And my grandmother thinks you are too young for me to be seeing you on a regular basis. She says I should be going to the Leuenbachs, but you probably know that I'm not going out with Ursula anymore." "No, I didn't know what happened. Did you two have a fight?" "No, nothing like that. I told Ursula that we weren't suited to each other, and so it was better for us not to go together anymore. But that she was welcome at my house, and I hoped I would be welcome at hers. Actually, I thought Ursula was hanging around with another boy, and I treated her as if she were. But that wasn't true, and then my uncle said I should apologize to her. But of course, I didn't feel like it, and that's why I broke up with her. But that was just one of the reasons. Now my grandmother wants me to see Ursula and not you, but I don't agree and I'm not going to. Sometimes old people have really old-fashioned ideas, but that doesn't mean I have to go along with them. I need my grandparents, but in a certain sense they need me too. From now on, I'll be free on Wednesday evenings. You see, my grandparents made me sign up for a wood carving class, but actually I go to a club organized by the Zionists. My grandparents don't want me to go because they are anti-Zionists. I'm not a fanatic Zionist, but it interests me. Anyway, it's been such a mess lately that I'm planning to quit. So next Wednesday will be my last meeting. That means I can see you Wednesday evening, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, Sunday afternoon, and maybe even more. But if your grandparents don't want you to, you shouldn't go behind their backs. All's fair in love and war. Just then we passed Blankerwood's bookstore, and there was Peter Schiff with 2 other boys. It was the first time she said hello to me in ages, and it really made me feel good. Monday evening, Halo came over to meet father and mother. I had bought a cake and some candy, and we had tea and cookies, the works, but neither Halo nor I felt like sitting stiffly on our chairs. So we went out for a walk, and he didn't deliver me to my door until 8:10. Father was furious. He said it was very wrong of me not to get home on time. I had to promise to be home by 10 to 8 in the future. I've been asked to Halo's on Saturday. Wilma told me that one night when Halo was at her house, she asked him, "Who do you like best, Ursula or Anne?" He said, "It's none of your business." But as he was leaving, they hadn't talked to each other the rest of the evening. He said, "Well, I like Anne better, but don't tell anyone, bye," and whoosh, he was out the door. In everything he says or does, I can see that Hello is in love with me, and it's kind of nice for a change. Maggot would say that Hello is eminently suitable. I think so too, but he's more than that. Mother is also full of praise. A good-looking boy, nice and polite. I'm glad he's so popular with everyone, except with my girlfriends. He thinks they are very childish, and he's right about that. Jacquet still teases me about him, but I'm not in love with him. Not really. It's alright for me to have boys as friends, and nobody minds. Mother is always asking me who I'm going to marry when I grow up, but I bet she'll never guess it's Peter, because I talked her out of that idea myself, without batting an eyelash. I love Peter as I've never loved anyone, and I tell myself he's only going around with all those other girls to hide his feelings for me. Maybe he thinks Hello and I are in love with each other, which we are not. He's just a friend. Or as a mother puts it, a pew. Yours and Sunday, 5th of July 1942. Dear Kitty, the graduation ceremony in the Jewish theater on Friday went as expected. My report card wasn't too bad. I got 1D, a C- in algebra, and all the rest Bs, except for 2 B pluses and 2 B minuses. My parents are pleased, but they're not like other parents when it comes to grades. They never worry about report cards, good and bad, as long as I'm healthy and happy and I don't talk back too much. They're satisfied. If these 3 things are alright, everything else will take care of itself. I'm just the opposite. I don't want to be a poor student. I was accepted to the Jewish Lyceum on a conditional basis. I was supposed to stay in the 7th grade at a Montessori school, but when Jewish children were required to go to Jewish schools, Mr. Alt finally agreed, after a great deal of persuasion, to accept Lise Goslar and me. Lise also passed this year, although she has to repeat her geometry exam. Poor Lise, it isn't easy for her to study at home. Her baby sister, a spoiled little 2-year-old, plays in her room all day. If Gabby doesn't get her way, she starts screaming, and if Lise doesn't look after her, Mrs. Goslar starts screaming. So Lise has a hard time doing her homework, and as long as that's the case, the tutoring she has been getting won't help much. I'll stop here. Let me digress a little. So this diary is full of the story where Anne seemed to be traveling to school by herself, maybe cycling, and also all the time all the friends around her could meet up each other easily. Maybe they all just stay in a close-knitted neighborhood. Maybe industrialization hadn't happened yet, and there weren't many highways, many cars, so people could easily visit each other via bicycle, via walking. So today it seems quite impossible, at least for me. When I was a teenager, it was so hard to travel to another place. Most of the time you have to go by cars. So that's all. I will stop here and see you in another episode. Goodbye.